and welcome back to my vlog. On to part 11 of, I promise I won't read the whole book, Bastiat's Sophisms of the Protectionists, and this is part 2, this is the last part of chapter 7. Petition from the manufacturers of candles, wax lights, lamps, chandeliers, reflectors, snuffers, extinguishers, and from the producers of tallow, oil, resin, alcohol, and generally of everything used for lights. To the Honorable, the members of the Chamber of Deputies. Picking up where we left off. We foresee your objections, gentlemen, but there is not one that you can oppose to us which you will not be obliged to gather from the works of the partisans of free trade. We dare challenge you to pronounce one word against our petition, which is not equally opposed to your own practice and the principle which guides your policy. Do you tell us that if we gain by this protection, France will not gain because the consumer must pay the price of it? We answer you. You have no longer any right to cite the interest of the consumer, for whenever this has been found to compete with that of the producer, you have invariably sacrificed the first. You have done this to encourage labor, to increase the demand for labor. The same reason should now induce you to act in the same manner. You have yourselves already answered the objection when you were told the consumer is interested in the free introduction of iron, coal, corn, wheat, cloths, etc. Your answer was, yes, but the producer is interested in their exclusion. Thus also, if the consumer is interested in the admission of light, we, the producers, pray for its interdiction. You have also said the producer and the consumer are one. If the manufacturer gains by protection, he will cause the agriculturist to gain also. If agriculture prospers, it opens a market for manufactured goods. Thus we, if you confer upon us the monopoly of furnishing light during the day, will as a first consequence buy large quantities of tallow, coals, oil, resin, wax, alcohol, silver, iron, bronze, crystal for the supply of our business. And then we and our numerous contractors, having become rich, our consumption will be great and will become a means of contributing to the comfort and competency of the workers in every branch of national labor. Will you say that the light of the sun is a gratuitous gift, and that to repulse gratuitous gifts is to repulse riches under pretense of encouraging the means of obtaining them? Take care. You carry the death blow to your own policy. Remember that hitherto you have always repulsed foreign produce because it was an approach to a gratuitous gift, and the more in proportion as this approach was more close, you have, in obeying the wishes of other monopolists, acted only from a half motive. To grant our petition, there is a much fuller inducement to repulse us, precisely for the reason that our case is a more complete one than any which have preceded it, would be to lay down the following equation. Positive times positive equals negative. In other words, it would be to accumulate absurdity upon absurdity. Labor and nature concur in different proportions, according to country and climate, in every article of production. The portion of nature is always gratuitous. That of labor alone regulates the price. If a Lisbon orange can be sold at half the price of a Parisian one, it is because a natural and gratuitous heat does for the one what the other only obtains from an artificial and consequently expensive one. When, therefore, we purchase a Portuguese orange, we may say that we obtain it half gratuitously and half by the right of labor. In other words, at half price compared to those of Paris. Now, it is precisely on account of this demi-gratuity, excuse the word, that you argue in favor of exclusion. How, you say, could national labor sustain the competition of foreign labor when the first has everything to do and the last is rid of half the trouble, the son taking the rest of the business upon himself? If then the demi-gratuity can determine you to check competition, on what principle can the entire gratuity be alleged as a reason for admitting it? You are no logicians if, refusing the demi-gratuity as hurtful to human labor, you do not a fortiori, and with double zeal, reject the full gratuity. Again, when any article, as coal, iron, cheese, or cloth, comes to us from foreign countries with less labor than if we produced it ourselves, the difference in price is a gratuitous gift conferred upon us, and the gift is more or less considerable according as the difference is greater or less. It is the quarter, the half, or the 3/4 of the value of the produce, in proportion as the foreign merchant requires the 3/4, the half, or the quarter of the price. It is as complete as possible when the producer offers, as the sun does with light, the whole in free gift. The question is, and we put it formally, whether you wish for France the benefit of gratuitous consumption or the supposed advantages of laborious production. Choose, but be consistent. And does it not argue the greatest inconsistency to check as you do the importation of coal, iron, cheese, and goods of foreign manufacture, merely because, and even in proportion as, their price approaches zero, while at the same time you freely admit, and without limitation, the light of the sun, whose price is during the whole day at zero? A concept to consider. And that's all for today. More tomorrow. Make it a great day, and bye for now.